Weezy out of here.
The dash is digi, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie. My cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Been here for 10, but I...
What's up, guys? PokeClips here, coach of your Atlanta Aerodactyls, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a brand new league known as the PCL D-League. So, this league is commissioned by Garchomp the God. By the way, huge shout out to him and the rest of the PCL admin squad for all the hard work they've done. But this league is kind of a form of a feeder league where you could possibly be promoted to the main league depending on a couple of different factors like how well do we do, upload quality or upload schedule, stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And this league is an S tier draft league where it's standard tiers along with a couple of usually, I guess, normally banned Pokemon from draft league are allowed. So, kind of for example, Pokemon like Protein Greninja, Tapu Lele, Magearna, and a bunch of other Pokemon are just allowed to be drafted in the form of a free pick for 200 points out of our 500 total free points for 4 Pokemon. And another really cool twist about this league that I'd honestly never heard about it, and it's a really good idea actually, is starting at round 2, something known as a fire sale will appear. And what it is at the beginning of each round, 10 randomized Pokemon from a randomized tier cost a tier lower than usual and count as a free pick. So I'll kind of get more into detail about what that is later on, as we actually do take advantage of a fire sale at some point in the draft. So I'll let you guys know when that is and a little bit more about it. So anyways, that should be enough general information about the league. So let's just go ahead and jump into the draft. So I was really lucky actually, and I was able to get the first pick in the draft from the randomizer, which was really nice because I had been eyeing one S tier that I think was by far above and beyond the rest, which was Dialga. So like I said, I think this was by far the best available Pokemon in the draft. So it was really nice to be able to pick this up, and as it's so easy to build around. So Dialga has a base special attack of 150, which is absolutely monstrous, with a physical attacking stat of 120, which is actually really good as well. So it's very capable of running mix sets depending on the matchup and stuff like that. Also, Dialga's HP, defense, and special defense stat are all above base 100, meaning it can take quite a few hits and that it can be really tanky depending on what I need. And Dialga's lowest stat is actually speed at base 90, which is not bad considering the rest of its stats, to be honest. So Dialga is an absolute monster. Its abilities, I mean, they're alright. Pressure and telepathy, I mean, neither of them are great, but what's really great about it is its typing. Dialga is a steel and dragon type, meaning that it's only weak to fighting and ground, which is very nice to only have 2 weaknesses to worry about, and it resists 9 different types and is immune to 1, which is poison, which is absolutely ridiculous, meaning that this thing can constantly switch into stuff. Well, I mean, I guess its lack of reliable recovery is one of its biggest downfalls as well, or one of its weaknesses, which isn't that big of a deal as we will patch it up later, as you guys will see. But anyways, like I was saying, just its resistances are so nice as it's able to switch into a lot of different types and take them pretty well. So, anyways, like I said, well, another strong thing about Dialga is its move pool. It has such a wide move pool physically and specially. So it's just able to it's really hard to prep for, and it's the main reason I decided to pick this up, and hopefully it'll be able to put in a lot of work. So one of the biggest problems of Dialga is it's able to break steel types, but it does take a lot of chip damage in return. So I wanted to have a reliable way to be able to break down steel types for my team. So for my second pick, I decided to go with Megalopony. So this thing's speed is absolutely incredible at base 135, being able to outspeed majority of all the Pokemon available, really. So it's really nice to have, and its normal fighting type is really nice offensively, as it hits so hard with also base 136 attack, meaning it's just going to hit teams so hard, and with the ability to run Adamant a lot of weeks depending on like what their speed tiers are and stuff like that, but being able to run Adamant a lot really helps it put in that extra damage. And Megalopony, it speaks for itself. It hits so hard. Its double stabs are absolutely incredible, and it's got a couple of D sets that are actually kind of cool. But yeah, Mega Lopunny should be really fun to use, and I think it matches really nicely with Dialga. So I think, especially for the first 2 picks, that we have by far have the best draft. But I guess we'll see at the end. So, as I mentioned before, fire sales. So the fire sales for this next round was Tier 2, and one of the randomized Pokemon from that Tier 2 was Gliscor, which is, in my opinion, one of the top Tier 2s. So since I had the wheel pick, I had the first pick in this round. So spoilers, I did take Gliscor, but it was a really hard decision because Lando T, one of the best Pokemon in the format, was still around with the that shares the same typing as it. But Tier 3 Gliscor, in my opinion, was just too good to pass up on, and so like I said, I decided to take it. And Gliscor gave me a really nice fighting type answer, which I didn't have on my team before with both of my currently picked Pokemon weak to fighting with Mega Lopunny and Dialga. So Gliscor really helps patch up that fighting weakness, and but it does have a 4 times weakness to ice, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So but yeah, like I said, Gliscor is a really nice defensive Pokemon. Its utility is really nice. It gives me a Stealth Rocker and a Defogger, and it's just a really bulky mon. It has some also pretty cool sets with like a Sword Stance, all on attacking set. It's a phenomenal Stall Breaker, and it's just a really great Pokemon overall. So it's really clutch to get that fire sale this round. So for my next pick, I really wanted to be able to Wish Pass into Dialga, and because like I said, it gets chipped down really easily with a lack of reliable recovery. So I originally was looking at maybe the Florges or Clefable. I didn't have my Tier 1 pick yet, actually. And spoilers, those 2 were actually sniped for me. So I really wanted to make sure I got a top tier Wish Master. So that really, and I also wanted a Fairy type to round out the Fairy Dragon Steel Core. So that really only left me with one option, being Sylveon. Now, Sylveon is no joke, guys. Just because I wanted 2 other Pokemon does not mean Sylveon is bad. Sylveon is a definitely more versatile than Florges, for example, as it's a lot better offensive mon, being able to create choice specs with a great ability to pixelate. But it just doesn't have the same defense as Florges. Don't get me wrong, they are still pretty nice with just solid, reliable bulk, but the main reason I wanted to pick it up is because of its ability to Wish Pass and just its defensive prowess when it's on the field. So, like I said, it's a really nice cleric to have on the team. I'm able to Wish Pass into a lot of my Pokemon, especially Dialga. That's going to be super clutch for the team. And hopefully you'll be able to put in some work and just keep the team healthy and stuff like that. And maybe I'll bring a couple of kind of cool sets that I've heard about. So we'll see. So, at this point, I had not started building my Fire, Water, Grass core, and I also wanted to continue working on my Fighting, Psychic, and Dark core. So I really wanted to take Slowbro, but I saw that Slowbro was in Tier 2, so I looked at Tier 3 and saw Slowking was available. So Slowking is probably worse than Slowbro, but because of the difference in defense and special defense stat. But Slowking is still a really solid mon. It gives me a bulky water, which in my opinion is one of the most important things to have on the team. And also gives me a bulky psychic type, which is also, in my opinion, an important thing to have. So it kind of gives me the best of both worlds, and this thing has some really nice special defensive bulk, and it's honestly got a nice ability to be able to be offensive as well, with a Calm Mind set, a Trigger of Nasty Plot set. Really just depends on what I want to bring. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really nice pickup with also a great ability in Regenerator, which lets it to be able to consistently regain health after switching out, which is really nice and just a really annoying mod to deal with. So yeah, it's pretty much the rundown on Slowking. So going into my next pick, I knew I wanted to continue building that finish out the Psychic, Fighting, and Dark core, and along with continuing to build my Fire, Water, Grass core. So I was looking, and Incineroar in Tier 3 was available. So I decided to grab Incineroar because every time I face this thing, I find it so difficult to control. Incineroar is just one of those mods I'm like, wow, I really have no switches to this team. And this is an absolutely phenomenal mod. Its Assault Vest set is absolutely terrifying. It can even be set up with a Sword Stance, 3 attack set. It's got really nice momentum at U-turn. turn. The one weakness of Incineroar is it is weak to Stealth Rocks. It takes 25% coming in. But honestly, if I'm able to grab reliable hazard control with Defog and Rapid Spin, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. So Incineroar is just an absolute monster, and it's got good defensive and offensive capabilities. So that's the main reason I wanted to pick it up. Anyways, like I said, or I have the wheel, as I had stated earlier, since I'm the first pick, but I wanted to finish my Fire, Water, Grass core while I could, and I had another tier 3 slot available, so I decided to take Shaymin. Now, Shaymin is really solid as it has base 100 stats across the board, which is really nice since it's a mythical Pokemon, and Shaymin is just, in my opinion, one of the most underrated mons in the format. It's got one of the best moves in the game, or grass-type moves in the game, in Seed Flare, as it has a 50% chance to lower special defense and has really high special attacking power as well. And Shaymin its versatility is quite crazy, as its offensive sets are absolutely terrifying, and its defensive sets with base 100 stats across the board, the thing can be really bulky, and it gives me a grass type to finish rounding out that core, as in my opinion, cores and speed tiers are two very important things to take care of. And Shaymin, like I said, gives me that base 100 speed, as currently my team is kind of slow. My only mon over base 100 at the current time was Megalopony, so it was really nice to kind of have at least a Pokemon in excuse me, at least have a Pokemon within with at least 100 base speed. So, like I said, for my next pick, I really wanted to get some hazards set up. So I was looking and I saw a tier 5 Garbodor. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest steals of the draft, as tier 5 Garbodor is really nice. It gives me a Spike Setter, a Toxic Spike Setter, and it's actually a pretty decent mon. I think it's really underrated, and it's just a nice hazard setter to have for my team. So yeah, that was the main reason behind taking Garbodor, and yeah, I mean it's not going to do a whole lot besides set hazards for me. Maybe just whittle down teams a little bit if I need to, but yeah, that was the purpose behind taking Garbodor. I guess it also gives me a poison type, which is really nice. And I have the next pick in the draft, as I have the wheel. So I wanted to continue building my speed. So I decided to take a base 105 mon in tier 5 in Cryogonal, as Cryogonal has a phenomenal special defensive stat, so it's able to take a lot of special defensive hits. It gives me an ice type that's decently fast at base 105. And it's also a Rapid Spinner, which is really nice for keeping hazards off the field, which could be nice for, like I said, Incineroar, even though my team isn't that weak to hazards. And now, guys, we only have 2 more picks left in the draft. So the only tiers that I needed were a tier 1, and I had 1 more free pick. So for my tier 1s, I wanted this Pokemon almost from the very beginning in tier 1, as it's a really nice speed tier in base 111. It's an electric type, which fast electric types always tend to do good in the format. And if you guys haven't guessed it, it is Thunderous Eye that I decided to pick up. It has a great ability in Prankster, and it gives me a nice solid speed tier at 111, which makes my team not as slow as it was, I guess. I mean, it's not ideal, but my team has gained a decent bit of speed with that Thunderous Eye pickup. But yeah, Thunderous Eye is really nice. It can be very scary with a nasty plot setup set. And its prankster ability could be really nice if I want to spread paralysis to the team, prior defog, just stuff like that can be really nice, and it hits really hard with a good speed tier. So yeah, that's the thought process behind Thunderous. Alright guys, I am back. Sorry about that one. My computer decided to turn off while I was in the middle of recording. So, luckily, I was able to save some of the parts where I was at, so that's nice. But anyways, let's get back to where we were. So, for my last pick, I really wanted to take some of that defensive steel typing pressure off the Dialga. So I decided to pick up another Steel type for my last pick in the draft. So I didn't have many points left. I had about 100 to 80 points. So I was looking at some of the lower tiers. I saw Registeel was available. So I decided to pick up Registeel, and Registeel is an absolutely phenomenal defensive mon. It also gives me another Stealth Rocker, which is really nice, and yeah, that's just nice to have on my team. The more I have, the better, as hazard control is super important to me. And yeah, so the one problem with Registeel is its lack of reliable recovery, which shouldn't be too big of a problem with the Sylveon on the team being able to wish pass around and stuff. But yeah, Registeel is really going to be able to take that pressure off of Dialga, and it's just such a phenomenal defensive mon. So that pretty much wraps up my draft analysis for the PCL. I want to thank all of the PCL staff for working really hard to get this up and running, and I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching this video. Week 1 should be uploaded next Saturday, so stay tuned for that, guys. But that pretty much wraps it up. I will see you guys next Saturday.